So you mentioned kid in the candy store. Are you the kid outside the candy store looking in and seeing Russell Wilson as a Denver Bronco right now? I mean, like, as a Steeler fan on a day like today where Rodgers stays put and the Broncos mortgage the immediate future,
right?
You know, what are you thinking now that Big Ben's retired?
No, I never thought we were going to get those guys or go after those guys. Because the cost is too much.
So what?
But we're 2 years away. We're not a just out of quarterback and win the Super Bowl team. I don't think we are. I think we need. I mean, when you have 3 All-Pro offensive linemen retire in the same year,
right?
You got to retool. And then, of course, Tuitt misses a season. Alualu gets hurt. Now you're 2 defensive linemen down. You know, our linebackers inside linebackers didn't pan out last year. Now we're 2 inside linebackers away. If Joe Hayden leaves, now we're a shutdown corner away. Those are a lot of pieces at every level, let alone the fact that I'm not sure if we have a clear number 1 wide receiver. So, I mean, those are big. We're a couple of years away. And so you could plug in a Rodgers or a Wilson, but who's going to block for him? You know, and last year was, an interesting year coming into the draft because I think they were trying to surround Ben with weapons in case this was the last stand, the last push for him, for his window. And what happens was I think there were some decisions made that, we could have wound up with future Hall of Fame linemen who were available when we were picking, but we were making choices, I think, based upon winning now. To me, I want to be competitive. And of course, this is an organization that likes to be competitive every year. But I just think right now we have to look at it as there's 2 years. I think in 2 years we can retool if we're smart and we do it right. And we have a great, we have a lot of cap room. And I think to give all that away for a quarterback without an offensive line is really difficult.
So that's a very sensible take, Joe.
Yeah, well,
It's a very sensible take.
I think the Steelers' next quarterback will be somebody that they find in the draft. It's not going to be a.
So is like a sophomore in college, a junior in college right now? You think this is the next big Steeler?
Hopefully, it's not somebody in kindergarten because between Bradshaw and Roethlisberger were 21 years. Granted, we could have had Dan Marino, but we didn't.
Yeah. So by the way, get in line. There's somebody My team chose Ken O'Brien instead of him.
Everybody did, yeah.
I know that's what happened.
Yeah.
I know that's exactly what happened. And so, I just don't know. I mean, it's possible they could choose Kenny Pickett, 20th overall. I mean,
speaking of the ghost of Dan Marino, yes, the next pick quarterback. And I kind of wondered about the hand size thing, if that was like the Dan Marino marijuana thing. You know what I mean? like it's how do we get him to drop in the draft so that the Steelers can get him at 20?
I'm going to say what just popped into my mind. I'll say it. You can't hold a joint with 8.5-inch hands. It's very difficult. So
like a roach.
You can hold that problem.
You can hold a roach, maybe.
It's very difficult to do that. I did just say that. But that is, I don't think that's a big deal, the 8.5-inch hands. I know, but I know, I mean,
if you didn't know those measurements, look at how good he is on film. If you didn't know that, he wouldn't. It doesn't
honestly
matter.
Here, put up the photograph, Hoskins, that we've been using of him lately. It's just we've used this photograph, and then I didn't think about it at all, ever. And then I find out that his hands are 8.5 inches large, and then all of a sudden I see the photograph. I'm like, those hands do look a little small on the football.
Does he drop the ball a lot?
No,
I don't know where this is headed.
He doesn't at all.
Like I said, I don't want to ruin anything if this means he drops to 20 and is maybe available.
But right there, coming out of the combine, it's like, you know what? Like, look, see the hands right there in the football in his hand? It just does it. I don't know.
And I haven't pulled out the tape measure, but 8.5. Is that's pretty?
I think it's like my hand. I don't know. I didn't measure my hand either.
Do we have a tape measure for Joe?
But your hand is definitely not 8.5 inches.
No.
Your hand is much larger than that.
I would think so. Yeah.
Joe's got the Ryan Leaf paw right there.
Yeah. But when you do, seriously,
yeah.
when I normally shake hands with an NFL quarterback, their hand or like their index finger will reach up to where my wristwatch is.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's the way it is. I did not meet Kenny Pickett at the combine. I just think I didn't think about it at all watching him play in Pittsburgh. Then you hear it and it's just like, well, I don't know. There's nobody who has hands like that. Michael Vick was the last first-round draft choice who had hands that were just 8.5 inches.
Is that right?
Large. Yes,
he did okay.
These are facts.
He did all right.
He did all right. Yes,
Yeah,
he did.
yeah.
So, would you 20th overall if you come away with him?
Oh boy,
because you just mentioned all of the. We need this. We need that. We got this. And Kevin Colbert is leaving his current position as general manager.
Yep.
Daniel Jeremiah, who sat next to me for the combine, was talking about how he's saying in many ways, I think it was him or somebody else told me, that Colbert would like to leave the team with their next quarterback, similar to Ozzie Newsome, who is still around. I did see him at the combine.
Sure.
But, I mean, what do you think about all that?
I mean, if he's available at 20, I mean, it becomes a Najee Harris situation, I think, where you're hard-pressed to let it go or let him pass by.
Right.
Because you could be looking at a starting quarterback. With that said, it's almost like, I mean, oh boy, I'd love to see some big stud offensive lineman first round. You know, what's the Trevor guy, the big one from northern Iowa?
Yeah, right.
Who just
Penning, right?
Yeah, he like throws.
I don't think he's
throws
less than
first
20.
round picks around like
he's out of the club.
He'll be gone.
Yeah.
By then. Yeah, I'm sure.
Right.
But I mean, there's such a talented draft. I mean, the combine was wild this year. Seeing 340-pound guys run 4.7s and things.
I know. There is
freakish.
I don't know. We haven't talked about it yet. There is a Nebraska center named Cam Jurgens, and he makes his own beef jerky, and his nickname is Beef Jurgens. He makes his own beef jerky.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, he's a terrific center. You know,
I like jerky.
You know, there you go.
Yeah.
But that's who you. I don't think you're talking. That's the Northern Iowa kid that you're talking about. I think,
Yeah, the
something
big
like
that monster.
I don't think he's going to. I don't. Who the hell knows? Because there's so many great defensive players.
Yep.
There's those two Ohio State wideouts. There's a couple of those offensive linemen.
You can solve
and
some offensive
linebackers.
line problems in free agency, and we have money for like the first time in a long time. I mean, we really got messed up because of that COVID cap last year, but I think we're back on track this year. I mean, we have to pay Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yes, you definitely do.
For sure.
Right.
But past that, maybe we could get some journeyman offensive linemen in the first round. Maybe there's a great D lineman who runs faster than our wide receivers.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.